Hi, I'm Holly with Stella Mari's Quilts. Welcome to our series on 50 blocks for 50 states, following along with the patterns from this book. Please check out the description box below for information about that, as well as information about the patterns that we've written with step-by-step instructions that include any adaptations that we've made from the original patterns. Today's block is Indiana. So let's grab a cup of tea and let's get started. For our Indiana block, we're going to need 4 dark squares that are 5 inches, a strip of dark for making orange peels, 2 light squares that are 6 3/4, and then a strip to be able to make some orange peels. You're also going to need an orange peel template. There is one included in the pattern if you choose to purchase that. We also have a tutorial on how to make your own templates that includes orange peels, so go ahead and check that out as well. To get started, we're going to take our 5-inch squares of our dark and we're going to sew them together in a 4 patch. This might sound a little odd because you could just cut a square that's the size that you need, but having the seams in place here are going to help line up those orange peels that we're going to applique on. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this together and then we'll come back and talk about the orange peels. So here are those squares all sewn together. I'm going to push that aside for right now and we're going to move on to the next part. That's going to be to take our 2 light squares and we're going to cut them in half diagonally from corner to corner. And now we're going to prepare our orange peels. To do that, I have the templates. And we're going to use the double-sided interfacing method to do our applique. So I'm going to just lay this down. I'm going to trace 4 of my appliques of the large applique and 4 of the small. I'm going to roughly cut out and I'm going to get these lined up on the back of my strips that I have ready. Then I'll take these over to my iron and following the manufacturer's instructions for this fusible, I'm going to just press my interfacing to the wrong sides of my fabrics and then I'll come right back. I've gone ahead and cut out all of my dark orange peels and I started cutting out all of my lights. I'm just going to follow my line that I drew, and if it wasn't perfectly smooth, I'm just going to smooth it out with my scissors. And then I'm going to lay out where all of the orange peels are going to go on the rest of the block here. So I'm just going to go like this, peel the paper back off, and start laying this down. My points of my orange peel should hit where the seams are. There should be a 1/4 inch gap between the orange peel and the edge. That will provide for the seam allowance as this is sewn together. Sometimes this is easier to do if you have it on your ironing surface so that you can just iron it on based on the manufacturer's instructions. But this is what it's going to look like. I'm going to move that to the ironing board in just a minute. The other thing we have to put on are then our orange peels onto our light fabrics here. So this is going to need to be with a 1/4 inch gap on both ends, and it's going to be centered on the triangle towards the outer corner and to the center here. To find that spot and make sure it's lined up nicely, I'm going to go ahead and just finger press my triangle in half. That way I have a mark to line up on. Peel off that paper, and then I can line up the points of my orange peel along that pressed seam right there, leaving about a 1/4 inch gap here and then having some spacing there. I'm going to do that to all 4 of these corner pieces. Once I've pressed these on, I'm just going to come back and I'm going to do a top stitching around them just to make sure that they're nice and secure. So I'll go take care of that and rejoin you in a minute. Now that I have all of the pieces ready and I've top stitched around all of the appliques, I used just a simple zigzag on these. You can use other stitches, whichever you decide. It's time to put our block here on point. So I'm going to go ahead and lay out the block. That's what it's going to look like. To get it all sewn together, I'm just going to do 2 sides at a time. I'll do this side and this side. I'll fold this together for my center point, which isn't as necessary because we've got the point of the orange peel there, which should line up with the seam that we have right here. Lay that across, do my 1/4 inch seam across. On both of these, I'll press it back, then I'll add the remaining 2 sides. And here is the completed Indiana block. Thank you for joining me today working on the Indiana block. I hope you enjoyed this and you continue to follow along as we journey through all 50 states making their respective quilt blocks. Until next time, have a wonderful day and happy quilting.